the altitude is, it's too high, the water's too cold, there aren't crocs.
There is no evidence of any species of crocodile here, and certainly not higher up the river. Yet without doubt, some creature is responsible for these deaths. A series of killings in the North Indian state of Uttaranchal has terrified local villagers and confounded scientists. Biologist Jeremy Wade is struggling to find evidence of a creature that might be capable of the river horrors.
One theory is that this creature has reached its immense size by feeding on the human remains from riverside funeral pyres. Sounds pretty gruesome, but of course it's just perfectly natural behaviour for a scavenger.
One animal that's developed this taste is the bull shark. Unlike other sharks, they have evolved the ability to move from deep ocean into shallow fresh water. And on the Ganges, adjoining the river where the disappearances occurred, bull sharks have been observed scavenging on human corpses, discarded into the water. Wade turns to marine biologist and cameraman Rick Rosenthal. He has vast experience finding and filming marine carnivores, including bull sharks.
We had 3 bull sharks swimming right underneath us. But these bull sharks will bite, and they've been known to consume a marlin in 17 seconds. They're probably responsible for more attacks on humans than any other shark.
Rosenthal has a 3-line plan of attack. He'll use a pole cam, a tiny single-chip camera, to recce the site. A 3-chip camera mounted in a mini-submarine. And he's also packing his high-def camera and its underwater housing, if there's somewhere safe to use it. He and Wade head for the section of the river where the buffalo disappeared.
Yeah, Jeremy, we just can't go charging into a river like this without a good plan, especially if there's something in there that can potentially eat us.
From a high vantage point overlooking the Kali River, Rosenthal gets his first glimpse of some kind of river creature.
Yeah, I can see the pectoral fins. Looks like a shark, looks like a nurse shark.
But nurse sharks only inhabit salt water. This section of the freshwater river is 1,000 kilometers from the coast. Rosenthal is cautious. Rather than wrecking the river with the pole cam, he prepares the sub.
All right, Jeremy, let's launch this, huh?
From the safety of the riverbank, the sub is maneuvered remotely in toward the rock.
Lights on?
Into water of similar depth to that where the victims were taken.
Why don't you take it down about right there?
Nowhere in this pool is there any sign of a creature large enough to be considered a threat to humans. And certainly no shark. Wade is finding it hard to believe that any species of shark could have made its way this far upriver.
The habitat is wrong, it's just too far up the river, and there's the fact that I think if they were there, you might get some more sightings of them. You might see that classic fin cutting through the surface.
The lack of any sign of either crocodiles or sharks in the water leads him to believe that the killer must be something else entirely.
It does sound far-fetched, but given the right circumstances, there is absolutely nothing to prevent a freshwater fish becoming a man-eater.
What's happening now? What's happening now? What's happening? What's happening? There he is, there he is, there he is.
it's quite spooky because there's this tail poking out and the body just disappears into the dark and you can't see how long the body goes on for. So, can you see?
They've located a goonch catfish.
There's the tail, there's the tail.
Catfish are one of the least documented of all freshwater fish. They feed on other fish and crustaceans by sucking or gulping on their prey. One of the world-leading experts on catfish is Simon Clark.
It's a fish which is probably immobile for longer than any other fish that I know about. I mean, they literally will not move for hours on end.
This catfish doesn't appear to be a fearsome killer. With just his snorkel gear, Wade attempts to get close enough to examine it in detail. This catfish is around 1 meter long, its mouth about 10 centimeters wide.
I had him! It was that close to the surface.
This is clearly not a man-eater. What kind of freshwater fish would be capable of an attack so ferocious, so comprehensive, that no remnants of its victims are ever found? Neither bone nor clothing. At the Natural History Museum in London, one of the world's leading freshwater fish experts, curator Oliver Crimmen, keeps a macabre collection of outsized freshwater fish.
Arapaima, one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. They've been reported up to 13 feet.
The only native habitat for Arapaima is, however, South America.
Also, we've got a sturgeon head in here. They grow to 16 feet, of course, a real giant, and are found in fresh water, but not solely. They're one of those migratory species.
Although widespread in both sea and freshwater, larger sturgeon are only found in Northwest Asia or Canada.
And this species, the wels, has been widely spread around the world, largely as an angling quarry, and including Britain.
Yeah.
And they can grow to 10 feet.
Yet the Wells catfish is essentially a European species, and there have been no attempts to introduce this fish into India. None of the freshwater giants in Crimmen's collection are ever normally found in the Kali River of North India. Wade is left with the unpalatable idea that the killer is from a species that already inhabits the Kali. One or more freaks that have outgrown their normal dimensions by eating human flesh. Monster fish.
The fish in its environment is very much the master, and it would appear that they do recognize humans, bits of humans, as a potential food source.
With underwater cameraman Rick Rosenthal, Wade heads back to investigate the area further.
The color of that water, really glacial.
Here, Rosenthal can use his high-def camera to survey the site in detail.
So
And go in bright light.
the light is the thing. We've got good diving conditions now. Diving
Critical.
You ready?
The men cross to the deeper section of the pool. At first, they find nothing.